couples that have sex before marriage are more likely to cheat.
Who came up with that one? Your forcefulness of women should be some type of way definitely had to be a man who said, I came up with that. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you're sleeping around with every Tom,
Dick or Harry. So what you did there?
Crazy. Anyway,
like the moment they come and tell you I am pregnant, you should be saying no, we are pregnant. Now let's find out what we are going, because without sex there's no us. Like
people with higher body counts have deeper issues.
Yes. Over 50% of people right now, you ask them where they learn sex from, was from porn.
For me, 100%. Hashtag close your legs.
If or when I have a daughter, I would like her to wait until marriage.
What do you think? Fantastic. Hi.
Hey.
Could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Jaleen Waithera. I am a film professional. I am a writer. I am also just a daughter. Yeah, and a Kenyan. I think, and an overall jovial, happy person.
Nice.
And you?
So my name is Michelle Tehillah. I am a Kenyan. I am Christian. Yeah, and what I do for work. So I think I wear many hats, but I am in the real estate industry. I'm an agent or a realtor, and I'm very happy to be here.
Awesome.
Yes.
You sell houses. Ooh. That's a badass job. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's fun. I can't lie. I can't lie. Yeah.
So you love interacting with new people?
Yes, I love talking to people, getting to know different people, different perspectives. Yeah, so I'm really curious to see how this conversation
I love that too,
will flow.
I feel like we'll definitely groove into this. Yay. Okay.
Oh, I'm a sister. I'm a daughter.
I guess. Shout out to mom.
All the things.
And sisters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sex is sacred.
Who goes first?
Would you like to go first?
Yeah. Yes, it is. I feel for me like, yes, it is. But I will tend not to lean on the religious side. I will say that sex is what takes whatever it is connection you have, whatever relationship you have with the other person to a whole other level. Like it can deepen your connection. It can, it's like the bow that ties everything together. So I feel like in that respect, sex is very sacred. And yeah, because when we talk about something sacred, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the religious context. It can just be something that is set apart, or something that is special, or something that is not to be entered into like playfully or something. So yeah, I think sex is sacred in that respect.
Yeah, so I think I agree with you on that front.
Yeah.
Woo, we agree.
Yes, we agree.
Yeah, I believe sex is sacred simply because that's the beginning of intimacy. So I believe that it is something to be shared with somebody who you like, somebody who you love, I'd imagine. And so to get even to that point, it requires a lot of walls to be broken. So it's something that comes with time, and it's something that is to be treated intentionally and purposefully, you know? Like there is consequences or blessings that can come from sex. And so while to cut the long story short, it is sacred.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah. Also, gotten into, I like the way you said intentionally, because I'm like, there are different kinds of intentions. Some of them are not as serious as others, but it has to be intentional in one way or the other. Yeah. Okay, so first one, we at least agreed. Yeah.
And also maybe I should mention, I think the reason why it is sacred is because I believe that our bodies are a temple of the Holy Spirit. And so we need to treat our bodies as such. So because of that, it's important to know what you're getting into, what you're using your body for as a vessel. Yeah.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Interesting.
The idea that women must be pure is a patriarchal concept.
So who goes
Just
first?
repeat that again.
The idea
The idea.
that women must be pure is a patriarchal concept.
So I think I can go first. I believe that to be true. But for me, this idea of patriarchal concept, I think even patriarchy is always seen in a very negative light. But for me, I'd like to challenge that a little bit because I believe that a patriarchal society basically means that men are the leaders of the society. And they're the ones who make most of the decisions economically. But I will say that for me, I believe that there is still a place for women in a patriarchal society, one that is empowering. But I think what matters is the intentions of that patriarch or that society, like as a whole. And so for me, I think my best example of a patriarchal lifestyle is my Christian beliefs. And for me, God as a father is something that has really helped me and grounded me. And with him being my idea of a patriarch, I do feel as a woman very protected, provided for, safe. So yeah, I feel like for me, I'd even start off by saying that I don't think patriarchal societies should always be seen as a negative, or should be seen in a negative light all the time. So yeah, back to the point. Pure?
Yeah, the purity of
the idea of purity of women. Yeah, so I would say I would say it's a concept of patriarchy, and
okay.
I'd say
yeah, I like your views, but I think for me, I would say I'd agree with you also. It is a concept like that what we term as purity when it comes to a woman. It definitely has some connotations of a patriarchal system.
Yeah.
I will say that I don't really think that in a patriarchy there is a role of women, but I feel like in contemporary society right now, all those roles are being reimagined, especially in the world that we're living right now. So you're finding that some of the proponents of the patriarchy might not necessarily accommodate women as we know them right now, in the sense that they can also work, they can also be breadwinners. In that, okay, I'm trying to limit the patriarchy to just subjugating women, but it's not that. But you can still see that in patriarchy, women are not. There's not very
seen as equal to men.
Yeah, they're not very equal. They're not very consulted. They're not considered as part of the society. And bringing it back, no, they're considered part of the society, but not really involved in the discussion. But bringing it back to the purity of women, I feel like even when you mentioned the way you said God, and it's God the Father. But if we look at it in reality, God is not male or female, right? So, okay, in context, I know we can argue about that the whole day, but he's not male or female. So even addressing him as he, you tend to see that it has been taken towards the male side that takes out women out of the conversation in a sense. To call him a he when as the entity that we know God, this is why God was neither born, he wasn't born, he is an entity. So you can't necessarily give him a gender. So the moment that we say God is a he, in the how we understand he is, we take away women from that conversation, I think. So I tend to believe that historically men did this so that they can you can align society towards the patriarchy. Now, is women purity a part of the patriarchy? I feel like yes and no. Yes, in the sense that it has been used to dictate how women should be pure and whether or not they should engage in sexual activities and, that basic idea of purity. But also it has a lot to do with even themselves. Some women choose, some women are used to being like that. So I think yes and no. But I definitely think that your forcefulness of women should be some type of way definitely had to be a man who said, I came up with that. I'm sorry.
Couples that have sex before marriage are more likely to cheat.
Who came up with that one? Absolutely not. I don't think it's a blanket statement. Sorry, I went fast.
No problem, no worries.
I think that there has been evidence of couples breaking up for different reasons, not necessarily that they had sex before marriage or after. We have known couples that just know each other. They met in high school, were they each other's first, got married, and then it got to some point and they divorced. Similarly, there are people who are of the world, who are out there, met and they've seen all manner of things, done all manner of things, gotten married, and they're just settled and the marriage lasts. So I don't really think we can blanket that as an entire statement and say people who had sex first before marriage are more likely to cheat. I think anyone can cheat.
Anyone can cheat. I agree with that.
Cheat.
I agree with that. Cheating is a choice, and I believe in autonomy. Like, we all make our own decisions, and I don't think having sex before marriage would make you cheat. That one I don't agree with. I also don't agree.
Yeah. Wrong statement.
Casual sex is more harmful for women than it is for men.
Casual sex is more harmful for women than it is for men.
And that can mean whatever you think it means. Psychologically, spiritually,
physically.
That's how you will.
So the thing is about this conversation about sex, I know it's also, I feel like women, there are a lot of things that can happen for a woman more than with a man. But I do think it shouldn't even be a man versus woman type of conversation in terms of consequences. I feel like the same amount of psychological harm can be found with men, but also for women as well. I think the reason why a lot of attention is redirected towards a woman is because a woman is powerful. I think we hold a lot of power, and for us, a lot can come from our bodies. Like, we literally bring life into this world. And so because of that, a lot of the responsibility is naturally on our shoulders. And so simply because of that, it means that we have to be just a little bit more careful.
Okay.
Because the damages that can be done to our bodies from casual sex. I mean, if you're sleeping around with every Tom,
Dick or Harry. So what you did there?
Crazy. Anyway, it will damage you. And I know there's a lot of science that can also back that up as well. Spiritually, there's such a thing as soul ties, and even just that emotional attachment to that person or that soul will carry on for the rest of your lives, even if you guys don't get married. Or you can even bear some random guy's child, and you have to live with what that looks like for that child, like the trauma behind that. You know, the behavior, you might have just met him on a one night stand, but then you end up carrying his baby, and then the effects of that,
You're the one who's gonna fix
you know. So I definitely believe, based on the prompt, that the prompt was
casual sex is more harmful to women than men.
Yes, I would have to agree with that.
Okay. I definitely do agree with you in terms of the physical things, because women are more susceptible to STIs.
Right.
The woman is the one who's gonna get pregnant. So in terms of consequences, yeah, it's more helpful to women if we look at it from that perspective. But there is no scientific or biological evidence that a woman would suffer more. If we talk about it emotionally or psychologically, there's no backing to say that a woman would suffer more than a man, or a man would suffer more than a woman. I feel like it depends on the emotions that are tied at that point. So if I instigate the casual sex, most likely after it, I won't feel guilty. Whether or not, I would feel guilty if I instigated it.
So question. Sorry to cut you off.
No.
But do you feel like women get more attached to the men that they're dating versus a man in that, you know, situationship?
I've seen it both ways. I've seen it both ways. And I know it can happen both ways because it has also happened to me. Because I know there are people that you get very attached to. And I've also met people that have gotten more attached to me than I have to them. So it's never one gets more attached to the other. I feel like both, and that's usually the ideology. But I feel like both, it's a balance. Anyone can get attached. Although I will add and say that in terms of women face more stigma when it comes to casual sex than men. So in terms of how harmful it can be for a woman, the shame and the guilt
socially,
socially, sometimes we carry that shame and guilt because we have been conditioned to believe that it is, like, society has made it such a shameful thing. And it's worse on women than it is on men. So in that respect, you find that the woman suffers more because in terms of shame and guilt from societal pressures and everything. So in that respect, you find women suffer more. But emotionally, I feel like anyone can get attached to anyone. The fact that it happens more with women maybe means that they are more emotionally aware and they allow themselves to be emotional. Because let me tell you, guys who are not in tune with their emotions walk around in distraction in the streets. But most of them, I'm usually like, you're just not a grown. Why aren't you just accept your feelings? Like, why are you so, you know? But then again, there's also the argument that men have been brought up to be very not emotional at all. Hide your emotions, be very strong, be very stringent. So you find even in relationships, it's hard for them to be vulnerable and everything. But for us women, we are told to embrace our emotions, grow up with it, like, you know, you're not scared of feeling that you love someone. So it's easier for us to attach because we're not scared of this emotion.
So then you mentioned that you yourself, you've experienced not getting attached to your romantic partner. Is that something that you feel like you had to do in order to, because, you know, you mentioned that as women, we are known to be emotional beings. Do you feel like it's something intentional that you did to be like, oh, I'm going to completely detach myself from this guy. I'm going to just get what I need and move on. Was it like, I'm just curious to know.
I don't see it. I feel like there have been instances where it was not what I thought it was. You know, the moment that you decide to get there with someone, I think there has to be something that's endearing to you to them, or there is endearing about them for them to get you to that point. But sometimes even after or during or just right before, you're like, why the F am I doing this? Sorry, can we cuss?
That's a good place to
okay, no. Well, you know, so it's not I had it in my head or something came over me. It's just that I was like,
you just stopped feeling it.
The vibe wasn't there, or you saw something that wasn't there, or they do something and it takes you off, and then it's just like, everything else is bad.
And then also in terms of casual, like for you, do you agree with like? Because I mean, casual is very like broad. For
It's a
you,
very
what's
broad-
what's
yeah.
casual?
Yeah,
like,
that's
is
the
it like a
thing.
one night stand where you genuinely don't know this person, but you're in bed with them, or is it like
I do not support, like, personally, I do not support the casual where you don't know someone's name.
okay?
Good. I do not. I do not fully support. Although,
Okay.
I do not support. I do support someone's right to choose.
To choose.
If that's
Okay,
what rocks your
fair.
boat,
Yeah.
like, you're okay with meeting someone and you don't know their name tomorrow. If that's you, no judgment here. I mean, you go, girl. But like, I don't think it's like, for me, I feel like you need some feelings in it. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Interesting.
Abstinence is pointless if you do not intend to get married.
Abstinence is pointless if you do not intend
to get married. First of all, I've never thought of it like that, but I feel like no. I mean, right now, traditionally, abstinence was for marriage, right? So if you're going to be abstaining or if you're going to be celibate, it was until marriage. That was how things were done. But I feel like in contemporary society right now, people are abstinent for very different reasons. Someone is trying to heal, someone is going through therapy, someone just wants to take a step back. People abstain for a lot of reasons. So I don't think that saying that abstinence is pointless. Yeah, just because you're not going to get married. I think that's equating abstinence to marriage. And right now it does not apply. So whether you're going to be married, you can still abstain. And whether or not you're going to get married, you can still be out here in the streets. So I don't know. Yeah. I can't tie the two.
Yeah. Abstinence is pointless.
And if you do not intend to get married.
If you do not intend to get married.
Because I even feel like it's like saying, so I can sleep around because I'm not going to get married. No, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I think that those two, like, sometimes I feel like marriage has been put as this really what's the word? Like an achievement, which I don't agree with. I don't think marriage is an achievement
of your life.
Like, yeah, no. Honey, there's gonna be a lot of things that you can do with your life, whether or not you get married. So I do feel like this whole thing about abstinence and sex and whatever, I just feel like there's so much that is riding on it. And for me, if you plan on getting married so that you can stop being abstinent, is crazy. You know what I mean? Exactly. And that's the energy it's giving. Like, for me, marriage is not so that I can start sleeping around with a man, you know? I feel like marriage is obviously a lot more deeper than sex, you know? So yeah, I think that's something that as an individual, you have to sit around with yourself. So now this is an individual sort of, challenge to yourself.
Yeah.
And what I do believe is that you should have conversations. So I believe in having conversations with people to see why you have the feelings or the beliefs you have, so that it can guide you on your next steps, you know? And I think in being a Christian, my reasons would be different from somebody else. You know, not everybody who's abstinent is Christian either. There's people
there's different reasons to do it.
Yeah, there's different reasons.
You can't tie the two. Yeah. Basically, you can't tie the two.
Modern liberal attitudes towards sex and sex positivity promote hedonism.
Define hedonism.
So hedonism is this how do I say, concept that the pursuit of short-term gratification is the whole point of being alive, like pleasure. And so those things without thinking about the consequences. So it has negative connotations, more based on some ego or some stuff. So it's not really a positive thing. Yeah. So do you think I should go first?
Yeah, sure.
Now, for me, comparing sex positivity to hedonism is absolutely wrong. Because I feel like hedonism is something completely different. It has very selfish connotations. It has it's limiting sex into just a short, like something casual that you do, just like a hit from a drug. It's limiting. It limits what sex is. It diminishes it to something very negative and not very nice. I feel like when you talk about sex positivity, we're talking about embracing people enjoying sex wherever it is that they are. So enjoying the pleasure, talking about sex education, removing sex from being this construct of society that is so taboo to talk about, especially in the world that we live in right now. I feel like we need to have more sex education. We need to make people talk about this more so that it stops being this thing that we look down upon. Because without sex, there's no us. So comparing sex positivity is something so amazing. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're promoting people having casual sex and everything. No, it's finding a responsible way to talk about and to handle sex when it comes to young people, especially in the society that we live in right now. So no, promoting sex positivity does not promote hedonism. Hedonism is something it's what people are doing right now because we were not we didn't receive sex education. I was doing a research the other day, and I was on the history of pornography. And I came to realize that according to history, over 50% of people right now, you ask them where they learn sex from, was from porn. So you imagine if that is where you learned porn, about sex from.
Yes.
Sorry, that's where you learned sex from. Of course, it's going to have hedonistical tendencies because that was the absolutely worst possible place for you to learn about this. But when you bring sex positivity into it, you're talking about people being educated like we did traditionally. You were taken away as adolescents. The older women taught you about it. They taught you about aphrodisiacs. It was not treated like taboo. It was treated like a rite of passage and something every person has to be educated about, but conducted in a certain way. Right? So that for me is sex positivity. Yeah, not... So I don't agree with that statement. Yeah.
Back to the prompt. Sorry.
Modern and liberal attitudes towards sex and sex positivity promote hedonism.
So first of all, the conversation around sex, I really like what you said about rites of passage. And I think for me, with the liberal understanding of sex and sex positivity, my only, the thing that I disagree with the most is when to bring in that conversation and when to expose, especially the little ones, people who are innocent, the kids, right? When to bring in that conversation. I think that's where there's a bit of a gray, it's a gray area. And I feel like more younger people are getting introduced to the conversation of sex too young. And that's what I have an issue with. Because now it brings in a curiosity to try to understand, you're a girl, you want to understand the boy now. And now you're getting into so many different things when you're literally just a child, in class 1. You should be learning about your ABCs, not body parts. But I understand in terms of safety, that's good to understand. But bringing in some of these conversations in too early, I think it can be detrimental in terms of losing innocence and losing that spark in a child. These are things that sex brings a lot of things into conversation. That I think I really think that conversation should be had a bit later on in life.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about hedonism, you see, the people who teach sex positivity are people who are out there, they're outside, they're doing things. So I do believe that it brings about pleasure. Like the conversation about pleasure is talked about in those circles. So I do think it does promote hedonism, just simply because it's part of the conversation. Being sex positive means that you're open to discovering what pleasures you. So because it's part of the conversation, it means that it is, it's agreeing that, hedonism is practiced in these circles, in sex positive circles.
Okay, I get that. But can I ask whether, just a question, now that you have said you're more open into, like looking at those limits of pleasure and everything, do you...
Wait. I said, what?
No, like,
what did I say? I didn't say I'm open.
No. I got that you are open.
Run it
But
back.
Someone who is sex positive is more open to exploring things.
Yes.
Do you think that I feel like equating it to hedonism is giving it a negative connotation. You don't think it's okay for a person to be open to discovering new things and exploring pleasure in that context?
This is the thing. I can't speak for others.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Yeah, because I'm like, to each their own.
Definitely.
I can never stop somebody else from doing the things that they want to do. But for me, I think it's important for a balance, like for it to be seen as, yes, there's things that you can pleasure whatever you guys talk about.
Whatever rocks your boat.
Whatever rocks your boat. But let's also talk about the consequences. Like things can go very far to the point where people are even practicing sijui bestiality now.
Yeah,
and like
a line.
Crazy things.
Definitely a
so
line.
What I want a lot more people to understand is to inform. You need to be informed of both sides, the pros and the cons at all times. Even in my circles, like Christian circles as well, let's discuss the pros and the cons. And don't just say, don't have sex. Why?
Yeah.
Can you tell me why? And don't just say, it's because of STDs. No, there's other things.
Yeah, but that discussion is sex positivity. Even being open to having the discussion.
Yeah. Okay, you can see it as that, but I agree with you with these taboo conversations. They should stop being taboo.
It should
like
stop being
in
taboo.
all circles, it's important. I think safe spaces are important. So having the discussion with your people is what's important.
Yeah.
Because having a sex positive conversation with sex positive people, the conversation can go left.
and
versus
can have no limit.
Exactly. And vice versa on my end.
No, I completely understand. There's definitely a limit to the exploration that should be undertaken to where it seems like it's acceptable, and then the rest is just crazy. Okay. Yeah. It's not mine. But yeah, some of your people are doing some crazy things.
Yeah.
True.
People with higher body counts have deeper issues.
Oh my gosh.
People with higher body counts have deeper issues.
Yes. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really feel.
Yeah. Like we said, I feel like introducing yourself and your body to all different kinds of people can be very damaging if you've not thought through, like, what are the reasons you're doing what you're doing? What are the reasons of why you're willing to share your body, or in some cases, literally give up your body so easily, And I definitely feel that something is happening intrinsically. Maybe trauma, value, your self-worth. There's a discussion to be had about that. And I do believe that it stems from something deeper. I don't think people are just sleeping around for the sake of sleeping around. I believe that it's something to do with your understanding of self. To say the least.
Okay, I absolutely have to disagree with that one. People with higher body counts have deeper issues. I tend to think that you're trying to make a blanket statement to something that cannot be covered by that one statement. Now, do some people who have high body counts have issues? Definitely. There are a lot of people who are having casual sex out here just who are trying to mask a lot of trauma, like you have said. But then again, it's also the age of choice. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people who have grown up in very positive, like sexually positive homes, or I may not say sexually positive, it sounds very weird. But in homes where you're not really taught that it's a taboo, or how kashifi, like you're not being looked down upon or being, what's it called? To shun someone, I don't know, like look down upon someone because of this concept of, or shamed because of this concept of sex. Like you have been brought up to believe it's a very positive thing. So you find that there are other people who have higher body counts who it's just like it's for fun. I disagree when you say people have sex for the sake of having sex. There are people who do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not really that deep. It's just that, maybe I like someone or I have an itch I want to get scratched. Sorry, guys. There are people who are like that. So saying that people with higher body counts have issues, I don't think is a reality. Because I also know of people who are very low body counts, or probably have had only one sexual partner and still have issues. Yeah. So you can't necessarily relate one to the other. I will say yes, that if you find yourself having a lot of casual sex, you definitely need to sit down and find out why. If it's okay for you and you're not trying to mask something, then it's okay. But introspection is definitely needed for both, whether you're having it or not. But you can't say that it's connected because you're having a lot of casual sex, you have issues. Not necessarily.
So there's this... Okay. This conversation has brought me back to a video that I saw. Do you watch Candace Owens?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Yeah. She shared about a lady who I think she is I think she was working in the porn industry or something.
Oh, that she had a challenge attempt
where
she break the world record
of how many men that she has slept with in 1 day.
She did a test for 100, but she was going for the record for 1,000.
For 1,000 men in 1 day. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that?
I definitely think she has issues.
Okay.
Because even after if whatever we saw on Candace was to be believed, this chick was not okay when she got out of their session of 100 people. She was not okay.
I saw
like everyone could. You saw how it was on her face, and in as much as she was trying to play it like it's okay.
She actually said that she was having fun with it, and this is a super fun challenge. And, if men can do it, so can we as women, So I just want to hear from you, like, what do you think of that? In terms of like even where society is headed and why, is that something that we should normalize? Like, what do you think?
Well, in that respect, I tend to think that this particular girl is not okay. Okay, I can't speak for her, but I do think that even her herself, she looks like she's not okay. So it's not something that should be encouraged for either one, even for men themselves. That is just ridiculous. And the fact that the moment she announced it, men were lining up it just shows that neither one of us is okay. Both the men, we are all
not
something
okay.
wrong. Yes. If I am to sign up, like it was so quick. This chick was having names, like people were registering, and I'm like, guys.
And they paid. I believe they were paying a lot of money for it.
Literally, it says a lot about where we're headed. But it's also a matter of, I know there are people who do it and it's their choice. People who work in the sex industry, in sex work. So for them, it's work, So I can't really judge, but for that particular case, I think the girl is not okay. Yeah, but I know there are people who do it and can be okay.
It is wrong that men are praised for their sexual experience while women are judged and shamed.
I think that one we can universally agree that it is wrong that one part of the gender gets all the flack while the other one is like, bro, you out here, man. Do not make that sound again. Song angers feminists all around the world anyway. But so it's just, it makes no sense because you want to marry a woman who's pure. But then you are out here in the streets. Connie, who are you having sex with? Tell us, my
It
bro.
takes two.
Yeah, it takes two. So, in as much as we are all, let me not use the word we, mom, not we. In as much as people are out here doing the most, let's give everyone fair punishment. If we're shaming, let's shame everyone. If we're not shaming, let's not shame anyone.
Yeah.
So you can't. Yeah, it is definitely wrong for one side to be getting flack than the other. But that's the society we live in. We're trying to change. I don't know.
I agree. It's very wrong, and also this thing of guys scoring. And and hitting and that language, it's like a game, Yeah,
I feel like
it's a game that
was like a guy thing.
It's a guy thing as well, and like that talk and that language, and it's just so normal for the guys. It's also not good because it's also showing them that there's no accountability here. Like you can
treat them like that.
Literally and count them in the open and be like, I've done 100. Excuse me, what do you mean?
What does that even?
So it's crazy how normal it's become for the guys, and then the girls, it's the other side of that is shame, which it's shame, but I also feel like it's also on the ladies, on the girls' side. I believe it's because of the responsibilities and the consequences. Unfortunately, they're just a lot more on our side. So that's just something that we have to bear, And so for the guys, it's like all fun and games. For the girls, it's a lot more serious, which I don't agree with. I think in terms of even sexual education, sex education, men should be taught about responsibility and accountability.
Yes.
If you've made somebody pregnant, that is your child. It is not her. It is not as it's her child. No,
it is you.
It is you.
Yeah, you
for 18 years, that is your responsibility.
Yeah.
So for the 100+ people that you slept with and maybe they've all gotten kids, you have to deal with that.
Yes, please. Can we normalize? This thing. Konza, let me just call out this man. And we should have had a man for this. This thing of men, actually, now you've had sex with someone and then they get pregnant and then like, you are not taking pills. You are not... Are you sterile? Are you sterile? Are you barren? Are you for you to come and ask me that question? I mean, we were in this together. Yes. Like the moment I come and tell you I am pregnant, you should be saying, no, we are pregnant. Now let's find out what we are going to do. Yes. So please, man. No, so that statement definitely true, but it is wrong. It is very wrong to punish one side.
And as we come close to the end, if or when I have a daughter, I would like her to wait until marriage.
What do you think?
In an ideal world, I am not a parent yet, but I have nieces and I always feel weird when men come around them. But I also understand that my sister maybe probably felt the same way. And for the sake of my mom, I will wait until marriage, but I didn't wait till marriage. So, oh my God. So I think, oh my God, I don't know. As a parent, I'm like, yes, you better wait till marriage. But then in reality, I know it is a very difficult thing to expect of my daughter. So, oh my God, I will plead the fifth. I feel like pleading the fifth because I'm like, if she happens to see this, so she's like,
Fair.
Yeah, she'll be like, Mom, you said this.
Fair.
Where? No. But I feel like just being realistic, I wouldn't put that much pressure on her. You feel like you meet someone and you want to do it, that's on you. But in an ideal world, close your legs. Sorry.
Close your legs. Yeah, for me, 100%. Hashtag close your legs. It should be on a t-shirt. For me, 100%, I would want her to wait till marriage. Because I believe that there's so much that goes into this whole sex thing that I think the institution of marriage also protects. I believe it will protect her rights as a woman. Even in terms of the consequences, you talked about we being pregnant, we will handle the consequences. It means that you, as in that union, you guys, it's the two of you. And so whatever happens constitutionally, like this documentation
There's a lot of security.
assist, with the process. Should anything go wrong, this man is actually going to be held accountable, not only from society, but even the law as well. So for me, I do believe that marriage as an institution is important for girls, for daughters, for women, because there is a lot of security financially as well. Yeah. So I would push for it. Obviously, she's going to make her own decisions, but I'd also want to inform her way before the conversation of sex to make her see her value. It's not her body and whatever. There's so much that is valuable within her that will attract a man that is willing to marry, that he's willing to actually sign a document to say, this woman is mine and I take her as mine, So there's a lot that I would want to teach and instill in her, so that when the time is right and the conversation of sex comes, even the people that she's attracting have the same sort of mindset, towards the conversation. Yeah,
it's not just casual. No, I get that. But then it also says a lot about our men if y'all have to have like a marriage certificate for y'all to step up as dads. I mean,
it is what it is. It is
man,
what it is.
You're not dogs, man. Sorry.
Not all men.
Hashtag not all.
Not all. Yeah.
I have learned from the other side, and I would like the other side to know that.
I've learned from the other side that sex positivity is very broad. And there's a lot of nuance towards the conversation, and there's a lot of different intentions. Like some people have good intentions in that movement, and some don't. So then I wouldn't also blanket a statement and say that all sex positivity is bad. I think the conversations around sex are important. For me, it's just understanding at what point, at what age, should we start bringing in that conversation. And I'd also want the other side to know that we on this side of abstinence, that we should be respected for our decision and our choice as well. I think a lot of circles, people like us who are abstinent are looked down upon. Prudes, self-righteous is a word that's brought up a lot. Self-righteous, prude, ignorant, or just not somebody who has explored enough. Close-minded is a word that's used. And for me, I don't believe those things to be true. Of course, everybody's different and they have their own reasons, but a lot of people on this other side, that's just the choice that they've made, and that choice should also be respected. And it's not something that, another thing people say is like, oh, the West have influenced you in that way, like your religious views and stuff have been influenced. So that is a colonizer that has made you think like that. You need to go back to your roots. And I'm just like, no, I think I'm good. Like I'm educated. I can make my own educated decisions. And for me, I simply don't want to involve myself in that way and direction,
Okay.
And it should be respected.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think I have learned from the other side is that when we talk about casual sex, there definitely has to be a line. In the sense that, like the example that you gave, someone who's trying to break a record sleeping with 1,000 men, to each their own, but there's some level of behavior or that we cannot encourage. We will let you decide if it's your own decision and you're old enough to make it, but it's also something that we should not encourage, because to some extent it does have some negative, effects or consequences, even for you yourself as a person. Including the guys who are actually partaking in that challenge.
Right. That's
right?
true.
So I definitely will give you that when we're talking about embracing sexuality, there definitely has to be a limit, because to some extent it becomes harmful. Now, like when you bring misuse of sex, like bestiality and some of these things, like there has to be, I think, a line. Not taking away from the fact that also the one that you meet someone and you like them and fall in love and you have feelings or you want to explore and then you end up having sex, that it's not taking away that people have choices to do that as well. But there should be like some form of a line, right? And I would want the other side to know that I feel like the discussion when it comes to whether you're sex positive or you're abstaining as a woman, it's like it's a concerted effort to divide women along those lines, I feel like, because you find even on the other side, people say a lot about us, the words slut, the words whore, the words, all these things. They're also coming from just someone wanting to falling in love, liking someone and ending up having sex with them. It doesn't work out. They go look for another person. It works like that. Sometimes that can be construed as slut. You've talked about names that you guys are also called. Yes, even the reverse. There's also names that are being called. So it's like something that is also used to divide women, because each other side has been taught that is wrong and look down upon the other person. But I feel like as a feminist, or through embracing feminism and in the broader discussion of things, we need to let people make their own choices, and of course have dialogue, education, how we're going to talk about some of these things and bring children up that are more sex positive, more sexually aware, even in terms of health-wise. And of course, I agree with you, age does matter when these discussions should come up. But if in class 6 you're being taught about biology and you're taught about human reproductive systems and everything, then I feel like you should start around there. Because then again, the society that we live in, the world will not wait for your child to stop being a child for you to talk to them about sex. No. There's a lot that is going on in this world there are a lot of sexualization, even in commercials and everything. So in as much as we do not want to talk sex to children at an early age, we still need to realize that they're surrounded by some of these things. And so talking about them or finding a way to talk about them where it's digestible at their age, and then growing it to where now we are getting to more serious, more intricate conversations about sex, then is more of a good thing. Yeah. So yeah, I'd agree. Class 5, class 6. So that's what I would want to say.